Can you believe that a staggering 56% of people say they often feel overwhelmed by the Nigerian news? These respondents also indicate that they regularly feel helpless and fearful after reading or hearing the news. In our hyperconnected world, we are constantly bombarded by headlines, breaking news, and social media updates. All this information, while keeping us informed, has a hidden cost, a cost that we often overlook, and that's the impact on our mental health. Nigerian news, by its very nature, is designed to capture our attention. From sensational headlines to dramatic images, every aspect of it is crafted to elicit an emotional response. But when we're exposed to this barrage of information daily, it can lead to anxiety, stress, and a general sense of unease. In this video, we'll look at 5 ways the Nigerian news might be detrimental to your mental health. We will delve deeper into each of these issues, providing practical ways to mitigate their impact. Number 1. Induced anxiety. First, we look into how Nigerian news can trigger an anxiety-inducing cycle. Picture this: you're enjoying your morning coffee, scrolling through the headlines, and what greets you? Stories of kidnappings, terrorism, economic challenges, and political turmoil. This constant barrage of negative news fosters an environment of fear and anxiety. It's like being stuck in a heavy rain without an umbrella, as the downpour of distressing information soaks you to the bone. Studies have revealed that more than half of Nigerians feel stressed by the news, and this stress doesn't simply vanish when you switch off your device. It lingers, festering and growing, often blossoming into full-blown anxiety disorders. The more we expose ourselves to these narratives of doom and gloom, the more entrenched our anxiety becomes. We start to perceive our environment as a hostile place, full of threats lurking around every corner. This fear can permeate every facet of our lives, making us more cautious, more suspicious, and less open to new experiences. It's simply a vicious cycle, because we consume the news to stay informed, but the more we consume, the more anxious we become, and the more anxious we become, the more we feel the need to stay informed, fearing that ignorance might leave us vulnerable. These anxieties silently and inconspicuously torment most of us, and it's all thanks to the news we consume on a consistent and daily basis. Number 2. Desensitization. Next, we explore the desensitization dilemma, a phenomenon that is as complex as it is concerning. Imagine a country where the most shocking events barely elicit a response, a place where empathy dwindles and our emotional reactions are numbed down. Well, you don't have to imagine, because we live in that country, and it's a direct result of repeated exposure to distressing news. Think about it. When you constantly consume violent or distressing news, your mind, in an attempt to cope, starts to reduce its emotional response. It's a defense mechanism, a way to protect yourself from the onslaught of negative emotions. But while it might shield you from immediate distress, it comes at a heavy price, which is called desensitization. Studies have shown that desensitization can lead to a reduced capacity for empathy. We become less affected by the suffering of others and less inclined to feel their pain. One such study, conducted by the University of Michigan, revealed a considerable decline in empathy among university students. This is in comparison to their counterparts 3 decades ago, with excessive media exposure playing a key role in the development of this trend. Furthermore, our emotional reactions are also negatively affected, because the onslaught of distressing news can leave us feeling emotionally flat, less able to experience joy, sorrow, or fear. It's as if we are losing our emotional color, fading into a world of grayscale, and just like that, we lose a bit of our humanity each day, one news story at a time. Number 3. Social media trap. Imagine walking into a maze, one that's been specifically designed to play on your deepest fears and anxieties. This is what many of us unwittingly do when we open our social media apps, stepping into a labyrinth of news, information, and opinions, all tailored to our preferences. These social media algorithms are engineered to keep us engaged, but at what cost? Studies show that the echo chambers created by these algorithms can reinforce our beliefs and fears. The more we consume news that aligns with our worldview, the more our perspective narrows. This constant reinforcement can lead to a heightened state of anxiety, as it often feels like our fears are being confirmed at every turn. A study from the University of Pennsylvania found that high usage of social media can lead to increased feelings of loneliness and depression. The constant barrage of news, particularly the negative ones, can make us feel isolated and overwhelmed. This is called the social media paradox. We are more connected than ever before, but yet, we feel more alone. Imagine all of the above problems, combined with a constant stream of news at our fingertips. It's all like adding fuel to the flames of anxiety. Every headline feeds the flame. Every update stokes our fears. We become trapped in this cycle, unable to escape the labyrinth that we've unknowingly stepped into. Trapped in an echo chamber of our own fears, the never-ending information on social media keeps feeding our anxieties. Number 4. Sleep deprivation. Now let's discuss how the Nigerian news can cause sleep deprivation. Imagine this: after a long, tiring day, you settle into bed, ready for a night of restful sleep, but instead of counting sheep, you find yourself counting the headlines flashing across your screen. The result? Sleep becomes elusive, chased away by the worries and anxieties stirred up by the day's news. Consuming news, especially before bedtime, can lead to sleep disturbances. It's like inviting a loud party into your bedroom just when you're about to go to bed. Instead of winding down, your mind winds up, processing the information, reacting to the emotions, and grappling with the implications. Several studies have established a direct correlation between news consumption, sleep disorders, and mental health. For instance, a research study from the University of California, Berkeley, found that individuals who regularly consumed news before bedtime experienced a higher incidence of insomnia and nightmares. This isn't just about losing a few hours of shut-eye. Poor sleep quality is linked to a host of mental health issues, including depression, anxiety, and even cognitive decline. It's just a vicious cycle. The more news we consume at bedtime, the poorer our sleep quality, and the poorer our sleep quality, the more vulnerable we become to mental health issues. Number 5. Helplessness Syndrome. Picture this: your screen is awash with stories of kidnappings, terrorism, political turmoil, economic crises, and social injustices. This relentless barrage of Nigerian issues can often lead to a profound sense of helplessness. This feeling of helplessness isn't just an emotional response, it's also a psychological one. It's like being caught in a heavy rain with no shelter in sight. As the winds of our Nigerian challenges whip around us, we can easily feel overwhelmed, insignificant, and even paralyzed. Research supports this claim. A study published in the Journal of Health Psychology found a significant link between news consumption and stress responses. Participants who were exposed to negative news experienced higher levels of worry and anxiety, ultimately leading to feelings of helplessness. Another study from the University of Sussex found that exposure to distressing news can also lead to symptoms of acute stress and even post-traumatic stress disorders. We become emotionally involved, empathizing with the pain and suffering we see, which only intensifies our feelings of helplessness. The issue is not just the number of problems we face as Nigerians, but also our apparent inability to do anything about it. We are spectators in a national stage of struggles, but often feeling powerless to make a difference. So what's the outcome? We are left emotionally drained, mentally fatigued, bombarded with problems we cannot solve, leaving us feeling helpless and stressed. So what can we do about all these issues we just covered? You only need to take control and set boundaries. Experts suggest scheduling specific times to consume news, rather than allowing it to be a constant background noise. This could be twice a day, in the morning and evening, and for a set duration. Also, consider the sources of your news. Opt for outlets that offer balanced and factual reporting over those that thrive on sensationalism. Furthermore, it's essential to remember that our minds also need a break. Engage in activities that bring joy and relaxation, like reading, going for a walk, or meditating. Even just enjoying a cup of coffee in silence can provide a much-needed respite. And finally, don't hesitate to seek professional help if the news is causing significant distress. Therapists are equipped to provide strategies to cope with news-induced anxieties. With control over our news intake, we reclaim not just our peace of mind, but our mental well-being.
Thanks for joining us today. Do you agree or disagree with what has just been said? Let us know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed our content, please tip us with a like, hit that bell icon to stay updated, and don't forget to subscribe.